Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca, and I will be giving a brief oral presentation on the career choice that I have chosen and the reasoning behind it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The career choice that I have chosen is computer networking, and there are several reasons that I've chosen this. For one, I have been on the other end of needing help in the sense of having the right idea but not knowing exactly how to fix a certain problem on my computer. So for that reason, I want to become a computer networker to be able to help others out with their issues. Um, it's also a very good career choice because it will always be in demand. As times continue to change, equipment continues to change, there's always going to be a need for someone to be in the field to come in and help set people up or help update their equipment and so forth. And also, another great benefit of doing computer networking is the pay. As I said, the pay. In 2015 alone, in a total year's time, computer networkers took home between 88,000 and 90,000, depending on their level of education and their experience. In 2017, the total amount was over $1 million for the year. And that's just being because so much has changed between 2015 and 2017, the need for computer networkers have grown. That led to more people needing updates and things like that. So then if we take a look at 2019, now keep in mind we're still in 2019, so this is just the first half. We're already up to $82,000 just in the first 6 months. So with that being said, clearly you can see the numbers going up. Over $107,000 a year last year, and then this year we're already at $82,000. So I can only imagine what it will be by the end of the year, and by the time that I finish my degree, there's no telling how much it will have increased. Education requirements for this particular degree, they ask for a bachelor's. They also recommend that you get some hands-on prior to graduation, such as maybe internships or just shadowing someone for a little while. They tend to not want to hire people fresh out of college just for the simple fact that everything you've done has been on a computer and you have no real hands-on experience. So the more hands-on experience that you can gain, the better it is for you. What the employers look for. This can range depending on where you go for employment and who you interview with. So some of the main things are, like I just discussed, always experience. The more experience that you have, the more likely you are going to be to receive that job. If I come in fresh out of college versus someone who's had 15 years hands-on, obviously they're going to go with who's had more experience. So it's so important that you at least try to go shadow someone for at least a couple of months at the bare minimum and have them sign off, or always make sure you keep a good contact information for them so that way when you're questioned on your interviews, you can go back and pull those. Another thing that they look for is that you work well with others, because not only would you possibly take the risk of going into a business setting to fix a computer, you also might have to go into a school. So kids are going to be there. It's going to be noisy. You cannot have one of these work personalities where you need complete and total silence, because you might have that, but you also face the chances of not having that. You also have to have good people skills. This goes along with the fact that you might be in an elementary school. You could be in a high school. So good people skills mean that you're polite. You don't use foul language. You can carry yourself like a suitable business person are very, very important key tasks that employers are going to look for. If you come in and you use slang and you are cuss a lot, chances are you're probably not going to get that job, because they can't risk sending you into a school and you using some foul language, and then the teachers are going to have to answer for it. So those are just a couple of things to think about when you are going to interviews for the jobs. Work environment, like we also just touched on. Sometimes it's going to be loud. Sometimes you might get called in at 6 o'clock in the evening now that everyone has gone home and you don't have anybody there. But you also might get called if the computer crashes in the middle of the day to go in and you're going to have to fix a computer around a classroom full of screaming children. You never know. Again, you have to be confident in what you're doing. If you're sitting there and you're fiddling around and you're looking around like you have no clue what's going on, they're going to report that. So you want to make sure that you keep a professional face. Even if you're not sure of something, keep your professionalism. If you have a question or need to call somebody and ask a question, excuse yourself from the room. Don't disrupt and just jump on your cell phone and start asking questions. Excuse yourself into the hallway or outside the room and make your phone calls. Okay. We're also going to take a chance and look at the growth chart. Like we had discussed in the beginning with the salary information going up, it's also projected to grow at an increase of 5% within the next couple of years. Again, as we've already talked about, things are changing, technology is changing, whereas 20 years ago, you had a flip phone and you had to push the button 15 times to text hi. Whereas now, you just pull up your smartphone and you text in 2 letters and you hit send and it's instantly delivered. So as technology continues to change, the need for computer networkers is going to steadily increase. There's always going to be that person that doesn't know what they're doing. Take a look now. Think about your grandparents. I know I catch myself sometimes rolling my eyes at my grandparents because they're sitting over here on their new iPhones trying to figure it out. Whereas we've grown up in this time to where it ain't nothing to us. We're going to be old one day too. And we're one day going to have to need our children or our grandchildren's help to set up our new devices, whether we like it or not. So, within the next couple of years, we are projected to grow at least 5% each year. At least. I would not be surprised if this was the lower end of the scale, just given how they're coming out with new smartphones and new technology every single day. Computers are getting more difficult. Things are getting more difficult to learn. So, some similar jobs that are in my specific field are networking administrators and network programmers. So those are the people who actually set up websites and set up computers. I'm talking about little pieces in a box and an hour and a half flat, you've got a brand new working computer. So any of these jobs would be very similar to what I'm also doing. My stuff is more of downloading new data and updating storage and all that kind of stuff. This other is very internal in the sense of taking everything completely apart and starting from the ground up. So if, say, I can go and get an under degree and one of these, I could easily bump up my salary probably another $100,000 a year. That's just something to think about. Am I still interested in it? Yes, very much so. I enjoy a challenge. I enjoy having to take things apart and feel them in my hands and then try to put them back together. And it's even more rewarding when they actually work. So I believe that I could be very, very successful in this business. And as I continue to go through my college courses, I hope that my passion for taking and rebuilding things continues to grow as well. And that's going to be it for my presentation. And I hope that everything was fantastic and that you now have a better understanding of what computer networking is actually like and the requirements. I know I was asked in this demonstration to have at least 3 people with me. I was unable to do that due to some family issues that have been going on here lately. But I still hope that you got all the information that you needed and that everything was to your standard. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.